What if I told you that while other F1 drivers were sticking to strict training regimes, breaking down telemetry,
bring him in now,
and going to bed at 9 p.m, one man was out partying, drinking at clubs, and still smoking them on race weekends? And guess what? He is Ferrari's last world champ. This is about one of the most badass, no-nonsense drivers the sport's ever seen. Meet the man who's tasted success, defeat, and most of all, champagne. On October 17th, 1979, in the magical land of Northern Lights, Santa Claus, and dangerously drinkable long drinks, a baby named Kimi Raikkonen entered the world. Born into a modest Finnish family, his dad built roads and his mum worked in an office. Little did they know, they just created a future legend from a young age. Kimi and his older brother Rami were hooked on mini motocross because, well, that's what tiny Finnish legends do. As he got older, Kimi had to choose between his two passions, ice hockey and racing. You already know what he went with. The reason? Hockey meant waking up early. And honestly, Kimi was not about that life. Plus, come on, in freezing Finland, would you rather be skating on ice or feeling the heat of an engine behind you? Easy choice. Even as a kid, Kimi was already peak Kimi. Quiet, cool, and doing life exactly how he wanted. He jumped into karting while his dad was out working multiple jobs to keep the racing dream alive. And honestly, Kimi absolutely crushed it. By 15, he was already racing outside Finland. And in 98, he straight up dominated the Nordic Championship, winning races and turning heads. People were starting to realize this quiet kid was seriously fast. By then, he'd already ditched his mechanic studies, which he never liked anyway. But there was one thing he couldn't skip: Finland's mandatory one-year military service. So at 19, Kimi had to play soldier by day and racer by weekend. And what else can I say? His time in the military was something else. Stretching his leave to race, showing up late to base, and sometimes still a little tipsy if he won that weekend. But hey, as long as he kept pulling it off and scoring wins, who really cared? Kimi did things his own way, and it worked. By 1999, Kimi was 20 and already tearing it up in real cars. Over that year and the next, he absolutely dominated two British-based Formula Renault championships, winning 13 out of 23 races. At that point, even though he barely had any experience in proper race cars, it was obvious Kimi was something else. So in September 2000, Peter Sauber was like, yeah, let's see what this quiet Finnish kid can do, and gave him a few F1 test drives.
Raikkonen für einen Formel-1-Test ein Auto für 3 Tage in Mugello zur Verfügung gestellt. Ich habe ihn dann am zweiten Tag zusammen mit Willy Rampf besucht und habe da einen sehr, sehr speziellen jungen Mann.
Kimi showed up, said maybe 3 words the entire day, and then casually went out and smoked the team's actual driver, Pedro Diniz, by half a second. Yep, just like that. Back then, Helmut Marko was sponsoring Sauber through Red Bull and really wanted to promote his golden boy, Brazilian driver Enrique Bernoldi, but Peter Sauber wasn't having it. He saw something in Kimi and said, nope, this is our guy. So just as quietly and fast as he showed up, Kimi was confirmed as Sauber's driver for the 2001 F1 season. And here's a fun little twist. That whole drama with Marko getting overruled was one of the reasons Red Bull started its own F1 team, which I actually covered in another video. So check it out if you haven't yet. And hey, might as well subscribe as well while you're at it. Just like that, at only 21 with barely any experience in actual racing, Kimi was heading to F1. 2001 Australian Grand Prix, Melbourne. The big moment had finally arrived for Kimi. All eyes were on him. Cameras everywhere. Pressure through the roof. And Kimi, he was so tense and nervous that he fell asleep. Yep, you heard that right. He literally took a nap half an hour before his very first F1 race. And how did he do? Well, he started P13 and finished P6.
There's Raikkonen. Raikkonen passing Fisichella for 9th place. A nice, clean move.
Scoring points in his debut race. Classic Kimi. Zero stress, zero drama, zero fuck given. And well, his rookie year, the young thing kept up with his way more experienced teammate, Nick Heidfeld, grabbed 2 P4 finishes and ended up 10th in the championship. By then, everyone had their eyes on this new F1 wonder kid. And while this Finn was turning heads for all the right reasons, there was another one catching attention too, but for very different reasons. You know what that meant, right?
I'm very happy for myself, and this will be an interesting year next year, but I'm also very thankful for Peter and for Sauber, because they give me a chance to come Formula 1, and then in the end they let me go.
He's clearly incredibly competitive.
And just like that, boom, Kimi was in a top team by his second season. So in 2002, Kimi wasted no time. In the very first race in Australia, he grabbed a podium.
4 points to Kimi Raikkonen in his first drive for McLaren Mercedes-Benz. What a great result for the young Finn.
Showing everyone he'd gotten comfy with that McLaren real quick. He'd go on to take 3 more podiums that year, and honestly looked stronger than his teammate David Coulthard, even though he finished behind him in the standings. The reason? Kimi had 10 DNFs thanks to mechanical failures.
That's a McLaren, and it's Kimi Raikkonen.
Again! Kimi Raikkonen again!
To get fit and look at this, Raikkonen's blown up.
That's a blown motor from Raikkonen.
It's not really bad luck, it's a bad preparation, and just need to whoever's fault it is, so everybody needs to work harder and make sure that those things doesn't happen.
Brutal. But the best version of Kimi, that didn't show up until 2003. He started the season with 4 podiums in the first 4 races, including his very first win in Malaysia, which he did in the most epic way possible. Started from P7, charged through the field, and won by 39 seconds.
Another young Finn, different sort of character, but clearly a fighter, clearly a quick driver. Kimi Raikkonen, 23 years old, wins his first Grand Prix for McLaren. It's back-to-back victories for the McLaren Mercedes team. What a start to the 2003 Formula 1 season.
Yep, straight up disrespectful to the rest of the grid. Honestly, I think that year marked the start of one of the most underrated prime eras any F1 driver's ever had. He was the only one who could keep up with Schumi's dominant Ferrari, pushing him hard and finishing the championship just 2 points behind. At that point, no one had ever gotten that close to the Kaiser during his reign with the Scuderia. It was clear, Kimi wasn't like the others. He was built different. And it wasn't just on track. Off track, everyone was starting to realize that Kimi's personality was, well, something else. By then, he'd already earned the nickname Iceman thanks to his deadpan answers, zero emotion, and general don't give a damn vibe.
You've had a much better season so far than David. Is that just a matter of luck, or is it because you're a better driver?
I don't know.
And yep, everyone already knew Kimi loved to party, mixing races with wild nights. He just didn't give a damn. Winning a race? Time to party. Losing a race because of mechanical failure? Party even harder to forget. And I'm pretty sure he couldn't care less that in 2004 the McLaren wasn't just unreliable, it was slow as fuck.
Massa's Ferrari engine, he's gone up the inside. Did he get through? Massa has repassed Kimi Raikkonen. There you saw it.
He had more DNFs than you've got F1 questions when you're not subscribed. The one time he actually got to show what he could do, Spa, of course, where he absolutely sent it for one of his best wins ever.
Side by side down the hill.
Raikkonen then takes Michael Schumacher.
Smoke and dust coming off the back of Coulthard's car. Contact with the ground, that's completely normal. But Raikkonen, there you go. Raikkonen is third. Coulthard down to fourth.
Raikkonen really just holding off after the Renaults.
Raikkonen, the fastest man on the racetrack at the moment, as you can see. Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Takuma, but we've had a spin there from Alonso, but he has managed to keep going.
Oh, no, there he goes again. He's got oil spilling out on his rear tyres. We'll be pretty sure of it.
Word clearly hasn't reached Kimi Raikkonen that Schumacher has settled for second place. Total commitment, absolutely amazing performance here. Into the bus stop. He's beaten Michael Schumacher in the Belgian Grand Prix. A magnificent win for Kimi Raikkonen. Well done to him.
Just cool, quiet, and deadly fast. Nothing really bothered Kimi back then. Whenever stuff got rough, he just hit the parties and the booze to chill out. He did the bare minimum off track and still delivered. Between party and party, it wasn't until 2005 that Kimi was back in the title fight, this time going head to head with El Nano. And this year, it really looked like he had a legit shot. Honestly, I'd say Kimi was probably the fastest driver on the grid. He won 7 out of the 19 races, including one of the most legendary comebacks in F1 history in Japan, where he charged from P17 all the way to the front and pulled off this epic overtake on the final lap to take the win.
Raikkonen's on the move here. Fantastic racing here at Suzuka.
This Raikkonen finally getting past Michael Schumacher. Alonso is just behind them.
This will hand the lead back to Giancarlo Fisichella, but then we will have a real run to the finish. And that is the margin. And that, with 8 laps to go, that's what Raikkonen has to close up now.
He got enough traction to keep the McLaren behind him. Oh, and they nearly touched. Can Can Raikkonen sweep in? Yes, he can. Brilliant.
What a brilliant move! Side by side down the straight. And one of the most dramatic Grand Prix in living memory comes to a close. Kimi Raikkonen, the winner! Absolutely sensational performance.
Absolutely brutal. But we all know who ended up winning that year. Kimi was insanely fast, and so was the McLaren. The problem was
9 of the San Marino Grand Prix, and it looks to me as though Kimi Raikkonen's got a problem, and that's Fernando Alonso, who's just gone past him. He's under real pressure. There goes the tyre. Let's go. He's going to get absolutely nothing. Ron Dennis can't believe it.
so far, Kimi always delivered, but it was McLaren that kept failing, and it didn't get any better. 2006 was even worse. That year, without a decent car, Kimi made his mark off track instead. Remember Monaco? His car breaks down mid-race and...
The man who was in second place, Kimi Raikkonen, is pulling off the racetrack, and Raikkonen's car too is on fire. So we've lost the second and third place man in this race.
What does Kimi do? Head back to the pits? Nah, he had better things to do.
Rare indeed. There is Kimi Raikkonen. He's not even gone back to the paddock. He's got his shirt off. He's on his boat, which has a splendid name.
Seriously, one of the most iconic F1 moments ever. And what about Brazil? Before the race, they had this big tribute to Schumi retiring, with Pele hosting, and pretty much every driver showed up. Well, everyone except Kimi. Where the heck was he? Martin Brundle caught him moments later, and Kimi set the record straight.
Kimi, you missed the presentation by Pele.
Yeah.
Will you get over it?
Yeah, I was having
It doesn't get more legendary than that. And Brundle's comment about having a lighter car on the grid.
Thanks for that. Now, yeah, obviously you'll have a nice light car on the grid then. So can you win this race?
Iconic. If you've been paying attention, you probably noticed Ferrari needed a new driver. So, without batting an eye and zero pressure about stepping into the shoes of the greatest driver ever, Kimi jumped right into the challenge of making Ferrari great again. Could Ferrari give him what McLaren couldn't? New year, new colours. Kimi and red. How would this duo work out? Well, Mario Ilian, the engineer behind Mercedes engines at McLaren, gave Ferrari a little friendly warning. He said Kimi drove flat out with zero chill, and no one beat up a car like he did. According to him, it wasn't bad luck breaking the McLarens. It was just Kimi being Kimi. So yeah, he basically told Ferrari, you'd better build this guy a tank. Was that actually true? Or was he just throwing out a smokescreen to cover himself? There was only one way to find out. And well, Kimi took care of that real quick.
By both the McLarens. Look at Kubica. A start by Lewis Hamilton. Up into third place. Raikkonen pulls away. Hamilton is doing a stunning job here on his first ever Grand Prix. He's the race leader. He hasn't won a Grand Prix since that absolute classic back at Suzuka, Japan. He's picked up where Michael Schumacher left off. He is the absolutely deserving heir of Schumacher.
First race with Ferrari, first win. Thing is, that year, McLaren looked like they were in a league of their own. Hamilton and Alonso were fighting like mortal enemies, totally ignoring the whole teammates thing. And Kimi just chilling, staying consistent, saying nothing, but always lurking. After retiring from the European GP with car trouble.
Really pulling away now and building what looks like a race winning victory. Raikkonen's in trouble.
Probably hydraulics, I'd imagine. The gear shift and the throttle pretty much work off the same system.
Really, once again, Kimi Raikkonen a victim of some problems here. He looks like he's going to have to pull off the racetrack.
He flew back to Finland and showed up to a party dressed as a gorilla. Because yeah, while everyone else was stressing out, Kimi was out there vibing in a gorilla suit and probably getting more rest than the rest of the grid. Honestly, I bet that's a better way for clearing your head than stressing about lap times all day like a maniac. After Hungary, McLaren looked like a divorced couple fighting over the dog.
Have they raised the lollipop to let Alonso out? Yep, they want him out of there. No, Alonso's not getting on with it. Only a minute and 40 to go. Is he blocking Hamilton here? Checkered flag and Hamilton's missed it. Hamilton's missed it by 4 seconds. Look at this. I'm not entirely sure who that gentleman is that Ron Dennis has got by the collar, but certainly I believe he's a Hispanic speaker.
That's Alonso's trainer. Ron Dennis is having a word with Alonso's trainer.
Those rather strange delays before you went out for both runs. Was that your decision or the team holding you back?
Thing was holding me back.
Hamilton was leading with 80 points, Alonso had 73, and Kimi was chilling in P3 with 60. Not exactly breathing down their necks, but close enough to keep things spicy. So coming into the second to last race in China, Hamilton had the championship basically in the bag. But nah, fate wasn't having it.
Hamilton is really struggling. These wet weather tyres are basically just worn out.
I think he's got some delamination on that right rear tyre.
It could cost him a hatful of points and the possibility possibility of walking away from this race as the world champion. He turned into the pits anyway. Comes Lewis Hamilton. He goes straight on into the gravel trap. Can he keep the wheels spinning? Can he get some momentum going? No, he can't. It's all going to get away from him. So here comes Kimi Raikkonen to record his 14th career victory, his fifth of this season, and a very important one that takes him through with the World Championship fight to Brazil in 2 weeks' time.
Kimi took the win ahead of Alonso, and suddenly the title fight was back on, with just 7 points separating them. Brazil was anyone's game now.
No lights at the top, here we go, Massa goes across, Hamilton covers and Raikkonen looks like he's got round the outside of it.
Oh, that is what happened.
Oh no, is that Hamilton slowing? It is, top of the screens, Lewis Hamilton's in trouble. What's happening? Just a few seconds ago, he's got it going again, but a lot of people have passed him. And that puts Raikkonen in the lead of the race.
Massa would want to get involved with Hamilton trying to unlap himself, but Hamilton not fast enough anyway. Remember, Hamilton needs 5th place to win the World Championship. He's currently 7th, 16 seconds behind 6th place man.
Last lap, teammate Felipe Massa, he did the honourable thing today. Such has been the domination of the red cars here this afternoon. The dream is over for Lewis Hamilton. Kimi Raikkonen wins the
It's all over. It's all over. Hamilton 7th. By my calculations, we win the championship by 1 point.
Just 1 damn point. The driver nobody saw coming quietly pulls it off. Could there be a more Kimi way to win? And of course, the emotions after the race were just what you'd expect. Alonso looked happier than Kimi himself. Enjoy these stories of Ferrari winning, won't ya? Cause no joke, that's pretty much the last time it happened. If only they knew what was still coming. I'd love to say Kimi kept smashing it with Ferrari and blah blah blah, but he kind of fizzled out, like a guy who'd already got what he wanted in life. In 2008, he couldn't keep up with Massa.
He's going to hit the wall. He's going to hit the wall. He has hit the wall. So as you can look at Hamilton going up the inside of Kimi Raikkonen, as Kimi Raikkonen finally rolls in.
Who, funnily enough, lost the title a year later by just 1 point to Hamilton.
Expecting Massa any time now. He comes through to claim his 6th victory of the season. He has done everything he needed to do, and we wait now to find out who will be the world champion of 2008. Can Hamilton do anything?
Is that clock going slowly?
It is, it's clock! Oh my goodness me! Hamilton's back in position again! 100,000 local hearts sink in the grandstand. And I'm sure that he is going to claim 5th place, which is all he needs to do to become the 2008 Formula One World Champion, Lewis Hamilton. You will never see a more dramatic conclusion to any motor race, let alone a Grand Prix, than that.
Guys, I'm speechless. That was so freaking close.
Karma's got jokes, huh? 2009, an even bigger disaster. The car was straight up allergic to going fast. But you know Kimi, if things suck on track, he's gonna find a way to make fun of it. Like in Malaysia when the race got red flagged because the rain was absolutely wild. All the other drivers sitting in their cockpits, stressing out, soaked, waiting for updates like anxious chickens. Kimi, my guy was already in flip-flops, licking an ice cream in the garage like he was on holiday. Absolute king behavior. And nope, the race never got restarted. But it wasn't all fun and chaos. By the end of that year, Ferrari dropped the bomb. Alonso was going to be their guy for 2010. Just like that, Kimi was left without a seat for the next F1 season. So he started exploring other categories like WRC, where results were meh, and even tried out NASCAR's Truck Series. For a couple of years, it really seemed like Kimi's F1 days were behind him. Was he ever going to come back?
I'm Kimi Raikkonen and I am back.
The Iceman was back. Did he still have the magic? With a Lotus that somehow turned into a rocket, Kimi showed everyone he still had it. Doubled Grosjean's points, bagged 6 podiums, and then came Abu Dhabi.
Oh, then it's lights out and away we go. It's a decent start from Hamilton. Look at Kimi Raikkonen. Gets a bit squeezed. There's contact between Senna and Hulkenberg right at the first corner. Lewis Hamilton way out of trouble. Now Jenson Button being pressurized. Oh, there is the HRT and there's Nico Rosberg. Problem for Lewis Hamilton, our race leader, going very slowly indeed, and once again it looks like something mechanical.
And Kimi Raikkonen leads the Grand Prix.
Lose 2 places down this straight. Di Resta pops up in the 5th. Perez goes around the outside, might take 5th away from him. Great opportunist move if Di Resta can make it stick. Perez can make it stick. Di Resta goes onto the grass. Oh, now it's a tap. Grosjean. Grosjean hits Perez, and then Mark Webber gets collected. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a safety car as well.
Okay, Kimi, we need to keep working all 4 tyres, please. Keep working all.
Yes, I'm doing all the time. We don't have to remind every second.
Safety car comes in on this lap. Race control has the top 4. So Kimi Raikkonen out in front. Fernando Alonso second. On his return to Formula One, we're about to see Kimi Raikkonen win once again in Formula One. 18 wins, now make that 19 wins. It's Lotus's first of the season. It's Kimi Raikkonen back on top as he wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Woo! Nice job, Kimi. Absolutely brilliant.
Man, that race was pure gold. And while Alonso was hunting him down and his engineer couldn't shut up on the radio, Kimi dropped one of the most iconic lines in F1 history.
Okay, Kimi, next car behind you is Alonso.
Just leave me alone, I know what to do.
It was official. The Iceman was back. Back at full throttle, casually dropping legendary moments like it was nothing, including that time in Brazil when he straight up went off track and took a detour on the old circuit layout.
And Kimi Raikkonen looks to be trying to find a route home early, going off at Junshao.
But one of Kimi's ultimate peak eras, hands down 2013. He kicked off the season by winning in Australia, then a few races later grabbed another podium in Bahrain. So what did the man do next? Hopped on a plane to Finland to keep the party going, and Kimi straight up said he doesn't remember a single thing. In total, 16 days of non-stop drinking. Absolute blackout marathon. And guess what? This was between 2 races. Next stop, Spanish GP. Result?
Kimi Raikkonen comes home to take 2nd place.
The man showed up hungover and still slapped most of the grid. His 2013 summer was basically podiums and parties on loop. Stress? Never heard of it. Focus? Only on Sundays. Bad habits? Definitely. But somehow, it worked. And yep, that year he missed the last 2 races with back problems. The real reason? Pretty sure you already know. Kimi had a bonus deal with Lotus for every point he scored, and he was racking up so many that the team basically ran out of cash. The man was so good he almost bankrupted them by just doing his job. So with Lotus barely holding it together and no money for bonuses, guess who came knocking?
Thanks, Hella. The Iceman is back in the hot seat. He spent 4 years in the wilderness, rallying, racing in NASCAR and driving for Lotus, but Raikkonen has returned to the scene of his greatest triumph.
The hype to see Kimi back in red was sky high, but let's be real, that 2014 Ferrari, straight up vacuum cleaner, and Kimi just vibing somewhere behind Alonso.
It's Kimi Raikkonen, oh, he's gone up into the barrier as well, that's a big shot.
Then when Vettel showed up in 2015, the car actually started working, but Kimi, he clocked into his role as the solid number 2. Reliable, chill, grabbed a couple of podiums, dropped a few iconic radio messages like it was nothing.
Hey! Hey! Steering wheel, somebody tell him to give it to me. Come on! Move!
The best part, his super enthusiastic interviews.
Do you think you can challenge Red Bull this weekend, or are you still trying to challenge Mercedes?
Is it important those that have changed roles get a proper grip on what they are following James's departure?
Alright, up until 2018, because that year Kimi basically came back to life. He had an amazing season, scored 12 podiums and finally won again in Austin.
First time in 113 races, the checkered flag for him as a winner. Kimi Raikkonen wins the US Grand Prix. Kimi Raikkonen is the top step of the podium.
Oh, and in Monza, he stuck it on pole and set the fastest lap in F1 history.
Hamilton extends his advantage. Sebastian Vettel goes on to pole position. Kimi Raikkonen beats Sebastian Vettel. It is a Ferrari front row lockout.
He ended the season P3 in the championship, just behind Seb, but it really felt like old school Kimi was back. And obviously, to top it all off, he showed up to the FIA end of season gala like this. Need a better confirmation he was back? I don't think so. By that point, F1 was basically just a hobby for Kimi. The next year, he swapped seats with Leclerc and went back to Sauber.
Big news this week. Where have you been if you've missed it? Charles Leclerc will be joining Ferrari next season.
If we could start with you, please. Say it wasn't your decision to leave Ferrari, but it was your decision to go back to Sauber. So just talk us through why you're doing that.
Why not?
Like, yeah, whatever, let's wrap this up where it all began. He stuck around for 3 more seasons, mostly chilling, but every once in a while he'd remind us who the hell he was. Like that ridiculous first lap in Portugal 2020, where he overtook 10 cars like he was late for happy hour.
And it's lights out and away we go for the Portuguese Grand Prix, and Hamilton ahead of Bottas. Verstappen already alongside and ahead of the second Mercedes. Lock up from Max Verstappen, lock up from Lando Norris too, and the Alfa Romeo of Giovinazzi.
Verstappen way off the racetrack again. What a scrappy few corners Verstappen had. He got a clean second place.
Kimi Raikkonen up to 7th, starting on the soft compound tyre. Daniel Ricciardo now ahead of Alex Albon in 8th place. Look what's happening here. Kimi Raikkonen really going for it with Charles Leclerc. 2 Ferrari-powered cars going into turn 1. Raikkonen on the inside. They're behind Verstappen, behind Norris. Raikkonen is ahead.
And the team radios, oh man, they somehow got even better. Peak comedy.
Oh, yellow where you are. Watch what they bring. Yeah.
I got sprayed with all kind. Yeah, I have water running in my foot because your drinking system is leaking like.
Yeah, it wasn't great, yeah.
At the end of 2021, he basically said, I care even less now. I'm out. And just like how he came in, he was gone.
It's been an incredible career. You won that World Championship. The crowd here are showing their appreciation. How are you feeling ahead of your last Grand Prix?
Oh, was it good? I mean, we'll see afterwards, but yeah, it's nice too that it comes to the end. Oh, I cannot complain that it was back, I'm happy how it went. I'm very happy that it comes to the end, and I'm happy to live the life outside. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
353 races, 21 wins, 103 podiums, 18 poles, and the last real hero in red. He raced like a beast, spoke like he didn't really want to be there, partied like he had no race the next day, and still delivered. More than just a driver, he was a whole way of understanding racing and life. Maybe we could all learn a little something from Kimi Raikkonen. If you enjoyed this story, you'll probably love this video. Trust me, it's got the same energy. And as always, thank you for watching.